also, if you move and finish your business,
Amara ni lewa di amo. Kuko kuna kalo na rato na ni dito na. Nke kabu kya wala na mauzi kuna ya maulezi.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM. It's Martin Emefiele Ikisi every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
My name is Chief Dr. Sir Bob Manuel Udogu Zana Bakrino Gidi. Join Martins on Political Views on Mondays 3 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM. Gidi.
Former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele has been remanded in Kuje prison after arraignment in court by the federal government. Good morning and welcome to Political Views on Ebonade 103.5 FM. I am Martin Emefiele Ikisi. At the same time, groups in Ondo is mounting pressure on the Governor Akeredolu, to resume duty since a return from medical leave seems to be in Oyo State now. And then the CBN governor was arraigned by the federal government on 6-count charge bordering on alleged procurement. The original charge was 20 count to the tune of 6.5 billion naira, was reduced to the tune of 1.6 billion naira. Emefiele is the only defendant in the new charge. This former CBN governor pleaded not guilty to the charge. The court remanded him in prison. We have a lot to talk about on this particular edition of Political Views on F1 at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 0809666135. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at F1 at the 103.5 FM. Stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, I'll bring you up to speed on the happenings. And then Political Views unfolds.
Move maka this boy and a big. That guy in the school.
F1 at the 103.5 FM. Nabakoa production.
Police for vigilante. My business.
When I will tell you, HJ radio drama, Erico. HJ radio drama, Erico, Ghana dialogue every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Other Monday, na Monday, 20th day of November 2023 m. That's F1 at 103.5 FM.
If you move and finish your business, yeah.
Amara ni rewa di amo. Kwa kuna kana na rato na yani iko naye. Nkeka kuja una ana mauzo naye maulezi.
My name is Chief Dr. Sir Bob Manuel Udoku Zana Baklino Gidi. Join Martins on Political Views on Mondays 3 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM Ogidi.
You're welcome back to Political Views on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Efan Shuku Ekeze, and this morning, the issue about the CBN governor is the leading story on our polity this morning. Now, let me bring you up to speed on the happenings in our political space this morning. The headlines. Diri Ododo, Uzodema gets INEC certificates of return. Experts say anti-corruption crusade requires holistic approach. Nomination of judges to Supreme Court without involving PDP chieftains give Akeredolu 72-hour ultimatum to transmit power. Police, immigration officials engage in shootout in Meduguri. Removal of Oshun CJ illegal. MBA kicks blast Adeleke. Uneasy calm in Kanu as appeal court affirms tribunal judgment. Appeal court affirms Muhammad as Bauchi state governor. Nigerians must unite to achieve Zeke's dream for nation. Emefiele to spend 4 days in Kuje Correctional Center. Plateau flood victims laud the federal government on intervention. Now, details. The first story we have for you this morning, Diri Ododo, Uzadema get INEC certificates of return. The Independent National Electoral Commission has issued certificates of return to Bayelsa State Governor Doye Duri, Imo Governor Senator Hope Uzodinma, and Kogi State Governor-elect Osman Ododo, who won the November 11 governorship election in the various states. The INEC National Commissioners supervising Akwa Ibom, Rivers, and Bayelsa, May Abamushe Mbu, handed the certificate of return to Diri at the Prof. Muhammad Yakubu Media Center INEC State Office, Yenegua, yesterday. The presentation of certificate to Uzodinma was held at Rockview Hotel, Owerri, and it attracted several dignitaries, including All Progressives Congress APC chieftains, the National Electoral Commissioner for Kwara, Niger, and Kogi, Mr. Sani Adam San, presented the certificate of return to Ododo and his deputy at the INEC headquarters in Lokoja amid jubilation by party members and supporters. The next story we have for you this morning, experts say anti-corruption crusade requires holistic approach for impact. A group of researchers yesterday said that to effectively curb corruption in Nigeria, a holistic approach that goes beyond laws and regulations must be deployed, stating that the drive against corruption requires an adaptive understanding of underlying psychosocial constructs. They also said corruption control strategies should be significant and holistic rather than a single control mechanism. Speaking during the ABC Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research series titled Corruption Behavior in Nigeria's Public Sector, Simplifying a Complex Phenomenon, funded by MacArthur Foundation in Ibadan, Oyo State. The participants, which include the representatives of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, MacArthur Foundation, among others, maintain that fighting corruption in Nigeria goes beyond making laws, regulations, and setting up agencies to include government providing levers that engenders significant positive behavioral changes across undesirable attributes. Still on the stories making rounds our political space this morning. Nomination of judges to Supreme Court without involving NJC invalid. Lawyers declare. Following the revelation that the National Judiciary Council was not carried along by the Federal Judiciary Service Commission in shortlisting 22 justices of the Court of Appeal for elevation to the Supreme Court, lawyers have declared that the nomination would be invalid if indeed the NJC was not involved. NJC's Director of Information, Soji Oye, had yesterday explained that the council was not carried along with the shortlist of 22 justices made by the FJSC for the bench of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Reacting to the development, a senior lawyer, Tekura Douglas Pepe San, told newsmen that the Constitution does not recognize the FJSC as a nominating agency. He stated that Section 232, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution makes the appointment of justices of the Supreme Court the responsibility of the President upon the recommendation of NJC, subject to confirmation by the Senate. This process subjects the appointment of justices of the Supreme Court to political interference. It cannot be correct to say the NJC was sidelined in the nomination process. There can be no valid nomination at all if the NJC was not involved. The Constitution does not recognize the Federal Judicial Service Commission as a nominating agency. Aside from these observations, I think all the nominees are eminently qualified. There was no point distinguishing them as priority and reserved, he said. For human rights crusader Mr. Kabi Akibolu, the role of the FJSC is to advise the NJC and not to shortlist. He said the appointment of anybody to the bench of the Supreme Court is guided by the statute. Still on the happenings in our political space this morning, PDP chieftains give Akeredolu 72-hour ultimatum to transmit power or face consequences. A group of opposition party chieftains and support groups under the aegis of PDP Forever Initiative has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to transmit power to his deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa. The group, which made its demand at a press conference in Abuja, expressed concern over the governor's prolonged absence from office due to ill health. They argued that his absence has created a leadership vacuum and is hindering the smooth running of the state affairs. PDP Forever Initiative National Coordinator Honorable Obande Gideon Obande stated that the group is not questioning Governor Akeredolu's capacity to govern, but is concerned about his current health status. He emphasized that the governor should invoke the provisions of the Constitution and transmit power to his deputy to ensure continuity of governance. The group warned that if Governor Akeredolu fails to comply with their ultimatum, they will occupy the Ondo State Government House to press home their demand. They also accused the All Progressive Congress of failing to provide effective leadership in the state and at the federal level. Honorable Obande further stated that the PDP has a history of upholding the Constitution and ensuring smooth governance in similar situations. He cited the example of former President Umaru Yar'Adua's illness and the party's decision to empower the then Vice President, Goodluck Jonathan, as acting president. Police immigration officials engage in shootout in Maiduguri. Police immigration officials engage in shootout in Maiduguri. The Borno police and immigration officials, in an unexpected turn of events, are said to have engaged each other in a wild shootout in Maiduguri, the state capital, on Friday. A security analyst and counter-insurgency expert, Zagazura Makama, disclosed this in a statement on X. Rotation involving different caliber of firearms, which incited fear among local residents. Makama said that the clash took place at a police outpost within a housing estate along the Maiduguri-Kanu Highway. He said that the Nigerian Immigration Service has been occupying this outpost since 2014 due to a previous abandonment following repeated attacks on security personnel. Makama added that recently, the Borno State Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Yusuf, ordered in divisional police officers to reclaim all abandoned police outposts as part of an initiative to enhance the city's security. A police officer told Makama that the Bulunkutu division police officers had intended to reclaim the outposts from the immigration officials. However, their attempt led to a chaotic situation when the NIS personnel denied them access. The immigration officials were surprised by the sudden morning invasion without any prior notice, Makama said. As a result, they decided not to leave the outpost even though it was marked with the Nigerian police insignia. The situation escalated when both parties began firing their rifles into the air, causing panic among the residents of the 777 housing estate. Makama said many residents of the estate who mistook the confrontation for a Boko Haram attack fled for their lives. According to him, the situation was eventually de-escalated by nearby Nigerian army troops from the 33 Artillery, who intervened and calmed both the police and NIS officials. Additionally, a mediation team from the crack division led by CSP Muhammad Ibrahim was dispatched by the Commissioner of Police to address the disagreement between the two parties. Still on our political space this morning, removal of Oshun CJ illegal, MBA kicks, blast Adeleke. The Nigerian Bar Association has kicked against the suspension of Oshun Chief Judge Justice Oyebola Ojo by Governor Ademola Adeleke. The newsmen reported Oshun Assembly on Thursday recommended suspension of the CJ, after which Adeleke directed Justice Yinka Afolabi be sworn in to acting capacity. However, the MBA, through its National Secretary, Publicity Secretary, Akeredo Lawal, in a statement on Saturday morning, said the body won't recognize anyone as acting CJ. The association described the action of the state government as illegal, breach of the rule of law, and assault against the judiciary coming from democratically elected governor. He said the action of the state government is an abuse of the rule of law and a discretion of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. In a very vivid terms, the actions of Governor Adeleke and the Osun State House of Assembly are unwarranted assault on the judiciary and aimed at intimidation. The MBA wishes to categorically state that the provisions of the 1999 constitutions are not ambiguous as to the way and manner a chief judge of a state could be removed from office. Certainly, a state house of assembly resolution for a chief judge to step aside is unknown to the law of our land. Furthermore, the law has since been settled in Nganiwa versus FRN 2017 that any misconduct attached to the office and functions of a judicial officer must first be reported to and determined by the National Judicial Council. The next story we have for you this morning on Easy Calm in Kanu as appeal court affirms tribunal judgment sacking Governor Yusuf. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has affirmed the governorship election petition's tribunal judgment, which declared the All Progressive Congress APC candidate Nasiru Gawuna as winner of the election. The tribunal, led by Justice Oluyemi Osadebe, had nullified the election of Governor Abba Yusuf by declaring 663 of his votes invalid. The tribunal held that the ballot papers were not signed or stamped by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Yusuf's votes were subsequently reduced to 853,939, while Gawuna's 890 1,705 votes were not affected. Displeased with the judgment, the governor filed an appeal at the apparent court. The APC, INEC, and the NMPP also entered cross appeals before the court, asking the appellant court to set aside the judgment. Yesterday, a three-man panel of justice dismissed the appeal filed by Yusuf and affirmed the judgment of the lower court. Justice M.A. Adumu, who led two other justices of the appellant court, yesterday affirmed the judgment of the tribunal on ground that the appellant was not a member of the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), under which he contested. Citing a provision of the Electoral Act, he said a party must have the names of its registered members both in hard and soft copies. He also said that Yusuf did not put up any resistance against the allegation. If you claim you are a member of a party, is it not logical to say so yourself rather than by prosy? The judge asked. He said Section 134 of the Electoral Act allowed the court to entertain an averment on the qualification of a candidate in an election. Justice Adumu held that the court could not allow political parties to act arbitrarily. He said the Constitution is supreme and binding on all persons, including political parties. Political parties cannot be permitted to circumvent the clear and mandatory provision of the Constitution. To contest an election, you must not only be a member of a party, but sponsored by the party. Still on our political space this morning, appeal court affirms Muhammad as Bauchi State Governor. The Court of Appeal, Abuja, has affirmed the victory of Bala Muhammad of the People's Democratic Party in the March 18th governorship election in Bauchi State. The appellant court upheld the judgment of the Bauchi State Governorship Tribunal, which dismissed the petition filed by the All Progressive Congress APC and its governorship candidate, El Mashal Sadiku Abubakar, who is a former chief of air staff, delivering the lead judgment on behalf of the three-member panel. Justice Chidiebere Nwoma Owa dismissed the appeal by lacking in merit. Justice Owa held that the appellant failed to prove their allegation of non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The appellant had alleged that the electoral materials were not properly filled in 8 local councils of the state. However, the court said the appellant did not call officers of INEC, supervising and presiding officers to give evidence to prove that the said forms were not filed, and why. Justice Owa held that though there were blank spaces in some of the forms produced as evidence, it was not substantial enough to cancel the election because the appellant failed to prove what should have been in those spaces. She said from the pleadings, the appellant failed to state the specific details which were to be in the alleged forms that were not put on the forms. The judge said the tribunal did a thorough job in evaluating the evidence and that the evidence of the petitioners were unreliable. This appeal is hereby dismissed as the appellant failed to prove their case. Justice Owa ruled. Recall that the Bauchi State Governorship Election Tribunal on September 5, 2023 upheld the election of Mohammed as Bauchi State Governor in the judgment delivered by a three-man panel led by Justice P.T. Wahab. The court held that there was no strong reason to nullify the election as it was conducted in compliance with the law. INEC had declared that Muhammad polled 525,280 to beat his closest rival and the candidate of the APC, Abubakar, who polled 432,272. And the next story we have for you this morning: Nigerians must unite to achieve Zeke's dream for nation. Sultan. The Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has lamented that Nigerians have derailed from the foundation left by past leaders, stressing the need for everyone to go back to the foundation. He made the call at the 4th Nnamdi Azikiwe Yearly Lecture and Merit Award with the theme Promoting Unity in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusivity in Nigeria in Abuja yesterday. Represented by the Emir of Wase, Alhaji Muhammadu Haruna, the Sultan observed that the death of Nigeria's first president and former premier of the Eastern region, the late Nnamdi Azikiwe, should not be waved aside, adding that all hands must be on deck to ensure we achieve Azikiwe's dream for the country. Looking at the generation that I belong, I think we really have to live together. What our forefathers did, it seems that we have derailed from the foundation they laid for us. And I want to use this opportunity to ask Nigerians to come back to the way our forefathers actually laid the foundation of Nigeria so that this country can be a nation of our dreams. And we have no doubt that the crop of leadership we have in Nigeria today can take Nigeria to where it is supposed to be as one of the best countries. The death of Zik should not be waved away. We should strive to see Nigeria the way he wanted it to be before he departed this world, he said. The Director General of Iwu, Nsukka United Front, Chineme Onyeke, urged the federal government to take over the management of Oniyu Heaven, the Nsukka residence of the late Zik, where he lived till his death, describing the state of the residence as a national embarrassment. According to him, with the aftermath of the 2023 general elections, the reincarnation of Zik's patriotic politics of national integration and unity is more desired now than ever before. Onyeke, who is also the Director General Nnamdi Azikiwe Yearly Lecture, said leaving the edifice in rot implies his legacy is already neglected. Another story we have for you this morning: Emefiele to spend 4 days in Kuje Correctional Center. A Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Maitama, Abuja yesterday ordered the remand of former Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, in Kuje Correctional Center, pending ruling on his bail application. Justice Hamza Muazu gave the order following Emefiele's arraignment and his not guilty plea to a 6-count amended charge brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Justice Muazu, who took arguments on Emefiele's bail application, adjourned till November 22nd for ruling on the bail application and November 28th for the commencement of trial. The original 20-count charge against the ex-CBN governor bordered on a procurement fraud to the tune of 6.5 billion naira. He was then charged alongside one Mrs. Sadiatu Yaru and a company, April 1616 Investment Limited, purported to belong to Mrs. Yaru. The fresh 6-count charge is also bordering on procurement fraud to the tune of 1.6 billion naira, but he is the only defendant this time around. The former governor's CBN appeared in court yesterday for an application for bail, pleading not guilty to the 6-count charge after it was read to him. The federal government alleged that Emefiele illegally bought 43 vehicles between 2018 and 2020 worth 1.2 billion naira. He was also accused of awarding a contract for the procurement of 37 Toyota Hilux vehicles valued at 854 million naira. Count 1 read that you, Godwin Emefiele, male adult, sometime in 2018 within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, did use your position as governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to confer a corrupt advantage on Sadiatu Ramalan Yaru, a staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria, by awarding a contract for the supply of 37 Toyota Hilux vehicles at the cost of 854 million only to April 1616 Investment Limited, a company in which they said Sadiatu Ramalan Yaru is director, and thereby committed an offense. He was also accused of conferring corrupt advantage contrary to Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 by awarding a contract for the supply of one Toyota Land Cruiser V8 to April 1616 Investment Limited in 2019 at the cost of 73 million naira. And the last story we have for you this morning, before you can call in and tell us what you think of all of this. Plateau flood victims applaud federal government on intervention. The flood victims in Plateau State who benefited from the federal government's aid yesterday expressed their appreciation to the government, saying that they are better off after their assistance. The National Emergency Management Agency Plateau State chapter yesterday went around to evaluate how those who were assisted in August's disastrous flood in Plateau State were faring. They were given sewing machines, grinding machines, food items, including bags of rice, beans, sorghum, vegetable oil, salt, tomato paste sachets, seasonings, non-food items, mosquito nets, blankets, plastic buckets, foam mattresses, cooking pots, toilet soap, and detergents. Other items included a cooking stove, agricultural inputs, maize, rice, herbicides, growth enhancers, liquid fertilizers, and water pump machines. Receiving the items on behalf of the beneficiaries, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang appreciated NEMA and the federal government for the intervention, noting that the items would go a long way towards alleviating the suffering of the beneficiaries. The Executive Secretary of the Plateau State Emergency Management Agency, Sunday Abdu, said the agency would continue to give NEMA all the necessary support it needed to achieve. In JO South local government of the state included Julian Habu, who was given a grinding machine, NEMA Waduma, who was given seedlings and chemicals, and Raman Pam Moses, who was given seedlings and chemicals. Now, there you have it. We have agitations that Governor Soludo, not Governor Akeredolu now, sorry, beg your pardon. There are agitations that Governor Akeredolu should resume office. The Kano Governor Yusuf Abbas election was overturned by the Supreme Court. A lot to talk about on the happenings in our political space this morning. So let's get into it. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 00966611035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. INEC also gave the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, certificate of return. What is your take on all of this? The numbers you call and then you become part of the conversation remain 07034459334 or 07045592210. Let's hear from you now. Hello.
Morning.
Yes. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very fine and okay. And what of you?
We thank the Lord.
You are listening to Akedi Amoke calling from Omonachi.
Please go on, sir.
Let me start with this. I must say a very big congratulations to those that sailed through on the November 11th election. Udodo, Uzodinma, and what is it? Diri. I must say a big congratulations to them. But Meta, before I proceed on, this is a platform where you will be giving each and every member 3 minutes to talk. Somebody will talk, will be calling. It's not meant for some people.
Don't worry, I have the exact meaning I give everybody, and you are using yours already. So let's get into the business of the day, please.
I know I'm using mine. I know I'm using mine.
Yes,
my reward won't be long.
Don't worry.
Secondly,
okay.
Concerning the election, it was free and fair.
Okay.
Anybody that says it was not free and fair, he should go to court. Then secondly, Emefiele in Kuje prison again.
Yeah.
For 4 days. I don't know what is wrong there.
Okay.
But let him face his consequences and face what he did.
Okay.
I don't know the exact things he did and the offenses he committed, but I must say, if you are being someone, you go there and answer your call. Then, thirdly, concerning the issue of all these courts pushing these people and telling that the election has come and gone and these people has been nullified and let these people take over. Why that thing being done as early as? Some people might have been sworn in there as a governor.
Okay.
They might be saying there. Now,
like that of the Kano State now.
You said it now. I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I hear you sound and clear. Like of that of Kano State. It is not easy to put someone there and pull him out.
Okay.
Let's do it amicably so that it won't cause problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yes, let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all that we're talking about this morning? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Adukwa mumma ke kan go amekwan.
Anom ya o.
Nsobaro. Wazo hana zo ene ku.
Ma secretary on this morning sabo.
Gaba ni rusa o.
Yeah, ebe na-ekwu maka Emefiele.
Okay.
Emefiele ihe ọ na-agajige n'uche m o kwesịrị ịgajige ihe ọ na-agajige karịa arị. Maka na ndị toro mkpe onye a were nwụọ ọnwụ ụmụ nwaanyị ji agba ọtọ na ndị ejiri egwu egwu n'ego onye ọgwụ kpatara akpata kata akwụkwọ nweta ego debe tuka na-edere gị anya ị na-edezi anya na aghọzie na-eji ajeji ezigbo nga na ndị onye nwe ego na-agụ ọya ichekwuwe onye akpọ ụzụtịrị m ọ dị ya mma n'otu ọ na-eme ka nya were meta ndị dị ya n'elu mma site na abịazi akpa abụ kedu maka ndị zuru eri ọrụ ahụ na-arụ nwata ahụ n'ogochita ahụ adịghị mma ya butere mmadụ na onye ihe ọbụla ọ nọ onwe ọnụ okwu ebe ọka ebe a ndị nwa bụ mmadụ nọ na mmachi egwu egwu ọjọọ isi ya mba ọ bụrụ iji ebe ahụ eba nkịtị ọ bụrụ na akwụkwọ gị watara mgbe ụfọdụ ọ na-enwe n'iwe mgbe na-enwe n'iwe onwe oge na-azọ a na-ekwu ya ruo dị na ebe ahụ dị ya adị ọtụtụ itinye ọnụ n'okwu ọba nkịtị kịta na databa akwụkwọ ahụ nke aka bụ mbido nke a bịa gaa ọ onye pụrụ ihe akpọta ọzọ ka o mere ihe ka mmadụ a hapụrụ ya ebe a ka ọ ga-etide anya anyị n'ebe ahụ na-etu eji egwu abịa na nke ụzọ dị mma ihe m na-enye Imo steeti ọ bụrụ na ndị mmadụ na-etinye isi echeta ife amaghị na ihe gosi ya ezi ọ bụrụ na ndị mmadụ na-etinye isi echeta ife amaghị na ihe gosi ya ezi n'ogosi ya nnukwu ife ife ọ na-egosi ndị mmadụ bụ na ihe a na-amanye na ọtọ vootu na-atụ ala ebe ọtọ vootu ịtụcha onye ekesi nọ ya asị especially nọ na maka na anya bụ ihe o nwekwara onye nọ na-agadị mbọchị ahụ na-esetifoto ebe niile nwechara steshọn ebe ahụ atụ ụzọ bụ na mmadụ anọ ya esiri nweta maakị osi wee pas mmadụ amaghị ya mana ihe mma bụ onye kọtụ ma ọ bụrụ uche amadụ wede agafe ego ya n'obodo a anyị amagosi ise ma obodo anyị ji aga ya bụ ndụmọdụ na-adụ ndị ọzọ
mana ọ believe na otu esi wee jekwa kọtụ ma when it comes to the Kano state government na even ndị like onye nke Labour Party na onye nke PDP na ha jebekwa kọtụ na ama nwekwa such case kwa iri eme na Kano state na
nwanne m nwoke mba onwe ihe a bụ ijide aka na akpụkpọ nwunye ehi ijide aka ya kapụ agwụkwuo maka akpụkpọ nwunye ehi na anọghị ndị nweghị ijide aka ka ọ ba anọghị ndị nweghị ijide aka ka ọ gbawa ma ọ chọrọ atụ ejekwa maka ekwe ya na nke ejidozi ya tinye ọkụ ọmarụ maje oge nkịta na ahụ ndị n'ọnụ ya emebe ihe a na-eme maka mmiri isi wee gbarụrụ na-eje hapụ na onwere ebe a na-eneje anya ebe a na-eneje anya ka eruo wapati owepụ ya ọka na-akọ daalụ nwanne m.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Dalo, thank you. Yes, let's hear from you now. What do you have to say about all of this, even in the issue of Akeredolu and Ayedatiwa? Let's hear from you this morning. Hello.
Martin.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, we thank God.
I'm the man this morning, sir. It's very, very unfortunate what is happening in Nigeria this time. What is happening is that APC now is trying to turn Nigeria into one party. We are talking of Imo State. foreign observers in the Imo State will never election, second for the election. Local observers will set up, but local observers in the will never election. Then Indian Aburo organization, Imo State, this is from Mosso or maybe in now what half of the election about. But not no free and fair. What is free and fair? Free and fair never came an election now. Now the police, now every push, every police now so ballot for. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, for election. But it's very, very unfortunate.
And what police say to leave maka as accused Imo State to leave an order is not a ballot box at the time too. But an investigation still on Nanka. And then another group who endorsed that particular election in Imo State.
If someone foreign observers, they're local observers in Nigeria. How can you put me up election? Tell me, actually, who can the party, people more Labour Party, how do you develop it? Or when they will your so, in that country, even the communities
like civil society organizations and the rest of them.
Yes, that's the election. So, can I get a what about 500? Even the governor of Abu
Okay.
If we never must, can state. All the cultures now, PDP gap because all the chairman of the just outgoing governor, or APC. So, I like to consider the state. That region. I like to consider the state. Just take care of it as a state now. Actually, to go to PDP never, APC will. Like a very election. So, all is very, very unfortunate. You know, I'm going to direct. Now, I'm going to be able to judiciary now. Look at the other candidate now. I make a PDP. Oh, it's 7 million in Tanabo. President Muhammad Buhari na ya ruche bro igbo ona to na fight ya bo Osibanjo na mgbako o the cabinet de bo na what on nege bata ona ta tutu ne because what ko ti onye get election na election second term o ti ne get onye control the judiciary so I don't think na onye control the judiciary na second term. That is Nigeria for you. We have to fail the system. That is Nigeria for you. We have to fail the system. Get your good new revival group here. Martin. Even I in mind on this platform.
Yes.
I need to go or the guy got I wouldn't able follow when I for APC. When I'm now, I thank God and they don't know chick stab APC. And it's for APC. New revival the Guna. Now how we
bankruptcy.
Bankrupt, right? Bankrupt in Nigeria. Why they go and some of us here, and I for the plan. No, I didn't focus to swear. No, but what you go, because you rebut when you're on your Africa. All I put on now is bankrupt. Now is the disaster, now is the
security system, yeah.
Now security system, the condemn.
But in the process, Okowana, Yotago here then Jode Kwana, no they disappear once. Now all of the on and no they disappear Kwana Hana walk out as a government.
When I didn't put this before, but I didn't put according to AI for Nanya, let's put in this country, Yamana complete. Almost here I walk. Nothing is working. From dollar, from year, nothing, or what is here and there, walk around here. Everything is past there. Everything is condemned. Yeah, I'm going to protect. I'm going to ambition this.
Anyway,
no, we are products, but you have to say it the way it is.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We need to hear from you. What is your take on all that is happening in our political space this morning? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. It's another Saturday.
Yes.
Of the political problem.
We are not going to have problems though.
But only put around these things as a distraction to our plight in this country, hunger, death, destruction.
Anyway, it is not a distraction though, but just tell the audience your name and your location and then you go further now.
Adam from Amos.
Okay. Okay.
They should give priority to our problem. We should have our problem also until a road comes 75%. Okay, I know 0% in our problem. Now, Emefiele, how much did you say his money is in Naira, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The government is persecuting him. How much is the young he paid? Because he has paid for that young. How much?
Yeah. Okay, the thing is that the Senate also scrapped that out of the, but it is already here. But anyway, let's see about that.
We know what's happening. He has paid for it, and it has been delivered. Leave them.
Yeah, according to them, it was already here before he got into power as a president at the end. According to the presidency, that's the way.
This young, as far as young is concerned to president, the only president in young from 1960 to now. Then you go to young.
None.
Of a Miloko now. Of a Miloko is alien to them. I could encourage you. Now, offer in Naira, offer in dollars.
Okay.
Some put up and eventually they will undo.
Okay. Ayedatiwa and Akeredolu.
Yes, okay. I've been following this thing. When the news came up that Akeredolu died, they debunked it. Later, they told us that they flew him outside the country for treatment.
Yeah.
As he was going, nobody saw him. Put me. One only program an airport to my neighbor. And the words of encouragement keep on coming from him. People will be telling on those people. Okay, your governor is happy with you. He's coming back soon. After 3 months, we came back. Okay?
Yes, it did. No, I'm meeting all yes, no, now government house. He had a meeting in that particular government house, so immediately about that. But now moved to no, he moved to Oyo State. Yes, that's where he is. But he first got into the government house, he had a meeting before moving to Oyo State. That's how it happened now.
If that is the case, then you of an Oyo State, then we two governors.
Yes, he gave Okawapu now here Ojuano there because of some of the accusations and the deputy governor and the Kafo if the house get Makia already before Yama, but also require such thing.
No, we are told that there is no facility that the hospital with the needed facilities in Oyo, not in Ondo where he's completing 8 years, where he's going. That was what they told us.
Okay.
That the facility is taking care of him is in Oyo.
Okay.
It's not in Ondo. People crazy.
Okay.
This is what they have been doing to us. Our past, the outgone president. The same story with the Buhari up to today. I am more confused about Buhari. All the band, they're on the fire. Hand over to Sibanjo. Don't hand over to Sibanjo.
But before he left office, he talked about the most dreaded moment of his time in president as a president in Nigeria was the time when he was rumored that he was dead or something. That was the most dreaded.
And I said, if you believe that, believe everything.
I'm trying to tell you what happened now. Like these are the narratives now. These are exactly how
we are all in this Nigeria together now.
Okay.
You have your views, I have my views. Believe that, you believe everything. I don't believe that.
Okay, you don't. Okay.
Finally.
Yes. Yes, police and immigration.
Police and immigration.
Yes.
DSS and the prison warders.
Yes.
They fought over
Emefiele.
some time ago.
Yes.
I can't see how they're now back for revival.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, my sister. And then the numbers you call to become part of the conversation remains 07034 459334 or 07045 592210. Let's hear from you now.
Hello. Mega, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very, very fine.
Welcome.
Are you?
I'm so fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they could also have Professor Ogidi.
Yeah, Professor, please. Yabaniru.
There were. Kedu onye na-ekwu na election emere n'Imo State gara free and fair? Mụnwachi from Imo State. Somebody wepụta na-ekwu na the election gara free and fair. Ọkwa ifo ka ngwa ọhaneze na igwe a na-ekwu okwu redio. Ihe ọbụla na-emebi n'elu ụwa gbasatara gọọmenti or gọọmenti elect, ihe niile achị ndị INEC n'aka. Some places ka a na-emere ka a na-atụrụ the election ntụ mbụ ha pụta na agwaga na all the free and fair. They are liars. Ọ bụrụ eziokwu. And achọrọ m iji dị opportunity wee kwuo okwu n'ụtụtụ a maka na ihe na-eme anyị bụ ndị Naijiria sọrọ enweghị onye chọrọ truth. And eziokwu anyị fọ na-agba na ntị mana onye maara ife bịa nabata ya ọ dịrị ya mma. APC gọọmenti dịka m nwa na onwe m prọfesọ si wee deche ya enweghị the answer to all the catastrophes nọ in this our country called Nigeria. Ihe enweghị any ụsa gbasatara ya. Onweghị ihe ọbụla ha ga-emenwu ka ọ dị mma. Onye ọbụla na-asịrị na dị mma bụ onye achị nwa na afọ onye ahụ atela ya. Because watch ya otu ihe si wee na-aga from Buhari to onye nke abụkwa Tinubu. Otu aka echi international observers bịara na-agwa gị that the election is not free and fair. Nigerians are now why not the free and fair. Because na ha bụ ndị ejiri wee kwara ngwa ọrụ. But what I'm saying this morning is that no matter the magnitude of any offense any man has been committed, that person got married. There must be a time of nemesis. The nemesis will visit each and every one of us. Mama na-ekwukwa ihe ọbụla na mmadụ na-eme ọmatara na ọ dịrọ njọ okwuru maka ego ebiri ya okwuru maka ego wee na-eme ya ọ dị njọ adị onye ahụ kere the time of nemesis. Abịa na nke ya Emefiele anyị nwere otu Emefiele iti butere some people here in Nigeria ọbara mgbali elu n'oge gara aga n'ụkata kọba akụkọ ichenji ego the new currency afụrọ ya. Look at country there. Even the this country like this. I am saying it without any fear. And I couldn't so be a promo.
Okay.
Okay,
no problem.
This country, I
Okay, the case carry ongoing on Kuje now, so I get one person
ongoing. Solution to solve all these catastrophic situations and had these conditions.
My brother, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, yes, it is your own view, but another person might think that there can some other things. You have to go because even the security situation is getting better. But let's hear from you. What do you think about all that is happening in our politics this morning? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. Your name and location, please. Pastor Wu.
Honorable Onyedika on the line.
Please go on, sir.
Yes. Let me first focus on this Imo State election. Yes. How did the voters and the registered voters, the differences and the discrepancies there are so much. Real voters are more than registered voters. never seen such. And actually, Imo State, as you've seen it, the APC government has vowed not to relinquish power. And as well, everybody is not happy in Imo State. There has been killings and maiming. People are even sleeping on top of a tree for their lives. And the Hope Uzodinma is forcing himself to the populace. What can we do in this nation? Is it that the commoners does not have any way of livelihood? I mean, let me blame the Imolites because it seems they are there. I'm just asking, are they cost or are they the cost? Because I think such a thing cannot happen in Anambra here. That we will just be alive and your people will perish. I mean, let it be by the way.
Okay.
Let us go to Akeredolu and his deputy.
Yes.
It is the fight of the titans. I don't know whether what happened in Buhari regime will recall back. Yeah, there is a ghost governor. If the governor is alive, let the hidden come out and let the people see him. We will not just hide and go and propel an impeachment saga for the deputy. Yes, and I mean, these things have been happening. It is the APC. The APC cannot salvage this nation because I've seen that wherever they are, there is turmoil. In fact, there is catastrophe and cataclysm. And moreover, let me go to Emefiele. Emefiele, what is happening to him now is less than what we're supposed to hear. It is supposed to have a decorated area in a correctional center because he made so many businesses to fold. So many families died because of his ambition. He was even once questioned for to become a president of this nation. After losing the treasury, so many billions we are budgeted for this change of money. And you see the money he produced is just like a target paper. I mean, who is fooling who? Let them know how to handle that man so that it is serve as a deterrent to other world.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I don't know. Whoever that is in the power now will just like to make money that him and his forthcoming generation will eat. Is a pity.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable Asakwe. Thank you so much. Now, we have a message that says, this one is coming from Sonny Omer from Nsoka, and he says, Emefiele is the architect of his own misfortune. Let him continue to face the music. Maybe this would be public office will be a lesson for public office holders. And he says, on Kanu governorship election judgment, the way APC is going, only God will save us from the cancer of impunity. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's hear from you now. Hello. Yes, good morning. Okay. Na gani rusa. Gabani rusa. Okay.
I'm going now, and you push a candina like you cook a letter. Wakumunata, Ubadeva, whatever make walk, I am not Takashimaro. You put on the Adam no Lahola. And okay, Memefere, and Namu, and what Jagger Joku. Don't know why. Why? I call a walk of our we was on Maconia after Shemetre, Shimba area. Come on, I really care with me. Man, not do that way go. That walk cash. You what I go? He didn't can make it to Bontum, but he didn't can make to Bontum, Bonchon can make to Bontum. Can what they do before I wouldn't card it, they would take go. You would throw me and go back at them. You wouldn't hear all kinds of such a come back to the man. Man, so what don't come, can not allow Dorian. Nemango, oh no, I'm going.
Good so.
Oh, and come back, my mother. Salau, when Makego.
So what?
I can name. So what? That you would say. I'll be in Nigeria and don't want to try catch it. And you put no function. General election after governor down, Gondo down, Mustaba. Nah, you was Janet Iran. So even you put an auto say Anato, only Conana. Auto Chani, Conana. Power for an indeed APC of Wanaka. Then they go Conaco. Now I can do money now, push your social bridge, Mobby, no master woman.
No, Dalo, thank you so much. Dalo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello.
Hello, good morning, Becca.
Yes, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Fine, fine. Who's up on the Joseph? Testimony,
Biko.
Yeah, because this is Dolu, can show you.
Okay.
For a long time now, Dolu, I don't know where room on our road area. For a long time.
Yes.
And that's who was I think April abroad. State governor couple, number one citizen of that state. When something is wrong with the man, you see, often at the state, I'm what's going on. Eh? How can somebody be on something like that? This is a lie. I didn't put a quarter design or face itself. But I tell you, actually, many people, more than the more, nobody knows. So, what happened in that case? Before when I knew about the parliament is not demand if we have the right to see him.
Okay.
Some of our more than the more. Then, in I was doing my INEC would the program that caused the difference of because I never election I want to say that I have a problem. Opportunity came at the election.
No, you
3 states came at the election. I can't have issue. What of the whole state in Nigeria? The whole state in Nigeria a problem. 3 states problem. Mahmoud Maloni for Nigeria. My phone Imo State, many people in the election and we're practicing. They guys people that pass also and only 3 states in Nigeria. Is it not a shame? Eh? Because Nigeria not go to more open at that man in the change area. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's hear from you. What do you have to say? Let's hear from you now. Hello.
Hello, Mr.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Emmanuel.
Please go on, sir.
Thank you. I want to ask this question. Thank you. I want to ask this question.
Okay.
I don't know by now. I'll be maybe looking for help from Nigeria. Somebody will stop good to him.
Okay.
Emefiele killed so many people in Nigeria. He killed so many people in Nigeria.
With that policy. With the policy.
Yes, so many people died. Some died in the bank only to get their money. Some died for with
the policy.
Yes, so many people died. Some died in the bank only to get their money. Some died for heart failure because of Emefiele. So you will go and face his music. Nobody cares. It is very, very unfortunate that Nigeria is just like a theater in the eye of the Westerners. Now, look at how our security personnel are reducing themselves. The other time they fight in court in Abuja because of this Emefiele. The other day, the EFCC, one of them killed one of them, kill one of them. Then kill themselves in Asaba Delta State, where they are fighting how to share the money they collect from Yahoo people. They shot themselves. One died. Now they are fighting in Burun. Do you see all this fighting? It's because of money. That place they are fighting for you say that you go and take your territory. This immigration say they are the owner of this because of the money that are coming here. If you go to Burun, you go to call Northern State, you will not see police on the road. The one you will see maybe you are at the border with the button. This time around, they are having gone now because of the insecurity there. But now they are fighting in Burundi. Because of money, maybe there's one that is coming out. You know what this fighting you are seeing in Boko Haram? It's because of money. Because of money, because all these areas and all these big graves in northern states, but the gold. We can't
prove that one. No, we can't prove that emirs are involved in this because they too once they are
not this one, not this very one. I said all these insecurities we are having in other states. One especially in Zamfara where they are gold. Go and see the city governor now in Zamfara said how much you need for this for money. You get 9 trillion naira. Where they tell us to go come and do. Tell people how much you get. 9 trillion naira, one person. What is your handwork? What is he doing? What is your operation?
Okay.
He
billion naira, which Nigeria has destroyed by APC.
Okay. We can't stand by that. We are working on it as Nigerians. Like the area where you're talking about, okay, let's come together, and make it better.
Yes,
that's what you're
together. And if Nigerians come together, and this will take Nigeria front.
Okay, thank you so much.
Nigeria is going back.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, my brother. Yes, let's hear from you this morning. Nigeria is not yet destroyed. By the grace of God, Nigeria will stand on its feet again. Let's hear from you now. What do you have to say? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Biko
na aga n'iru sa.
No, ụmụ nwanne anyị nwoke kwuru okwu sị na ọ bụrụ na Anambra na ihe a na-eme n'Imo agaghị eme.
Okay.
Ihe nchọ ka mme ka ọ mara abụ.
Hello. Yeah, network. Hello. Okay, please call us back. Yeah, call us back. 07034459334 or 07045592210. Let's hear from you now. Hello. Welcome back, Professor.
Thank you. Oh, Professor Biagachirazo. What you found to Ekele? Kelenge. Now here it's already correct. Kamuwa G Biagachirazo.
Okay.
So, when I work at Kuruna, only here and Emera Nambara, and Emily Mosque, no guy Emera Nambara, oh, watch you. Come on, one on the Sosoka Sovaro doing it. No, some Kayaka Purani, or Webro Kaburi. Or when they born in when he team, he got stop where I email. Nandi Ainek. When you see the INEC Mahmoud Yaku, where the car, once it's a potato election, the people potato election and the account all their vote. Oh, yeah, Bona, yes, to Aga, Nebona. When you bought that now, I to see a vote. Now, INEC Aga, a quota, people's mind, the behavior reality. Onye atụnyere ọchịa ha were onye dị ha mmati. Oke onye na-asị na ọma emenwu na Anambra mgbe mere presidential atụrụ gịnị mere ọkwa anyị nche abụ ndị Naijiria gịnị mere so onye na-ekwu okwu biko I correct ya m chee echiche ọfụma na ihe ọ na-ekwu.
Then okay. Ihe nchọ ka njụta gị bụ ịma na ihe kwuru na ọ bụ na Mahmood kwelu ka ndị mmadụ pụta mana ịma na ya ma blame INEC for the insecurity dị na Imo State already, ịmagoro na ihe kwuru na Mahmood ama nkwa ka ndị mmadụ pụta nsị na onwe ka ga-esi wee blame INEC maka insecurity n'Imo State. Yeah, Professor.
Believe me or not, they are the cause of everything. All you can do is the APC government. Every house about okay, when the presidential election, or election, win that election. How do you think that there will be no catastrophe? Well, even Katasaka. But what I'm saying is that can qualify your zona, you don't join no matter people this sin of malpracticing and sin of being one to this people in our community. Unpardonable sin, even before God and before man.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. As we talk about it, we might get emotional talking about it from time to time, but the former president of Malawi, who was also an observer of that particular election, said that was the first time she's hearing about vote buying for the first time. So the process of vote buying, both the citizens and the politicians can be caught up in it at the end of the day. But let's hear from you now. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello. Yes, good morning.
Also, I'm having a Madam Mukego and Nankan question about
one no one Gabaniru.
Oh, can't tell one of who's at the Manas and all yet the Kenya, like a mother.
Okay. Hello. Omumukego. Hello. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but she has on a network book here. Call us back 07034459334 or 07045592210. Let's hear from you now. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We thank God.
I didn't know. I don't know what to think. It's no good. So, let's see how now. Yeah, I go for that. Then they say Basalo Emefiele.
Okay.
So, now, take us. Maybe I know one of them or take it on one. I can't see any Emefiele and I got the justice. So, mana ọnọdụ ndị mmadụ nọ n'ọdị ọkpara agwa ajọka oke a nụrụ m onye nke si na nne ya ọnwụ maka ọnọdụ a ebedela ebedo a ọ ga-anwụ so dapụtị na adịrọ mma o mepụrụ ndị mmadụ anya ọsọsọ na Chineke nna m elu m ebere dasanyị lọtago mepeela anyị ụzọ ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ ya ndị mmadụ gabigala elọtọ so that na ihe m na-agwadebe ndị ọchịchị kịta ka uche unu dịkwu ya ahụ bikọs eleke na akịta anụnwa ọ bụ ozi esi ya ka ọ na-ede ọ gwakwa onye nọ n'ọchịchị ọ ga-anwa na-agwụ ya ife ọ na-eme ịghọtago o wee na-enye ya ndị anọ n'ọchịchị kịta uche unu dịkwu ya ebupụta ego onye dị otu a wee goo moto nke a asị ka ego nke a asị ka ego nke a ife anwa ọkwa ife agwa pakapa na-eme n'obodo ọnọdụ Naijiria nọ kịta a wee na-eme ụdị ọmụme anwa na prezidentị ndị Malawi anụnwa kịta anụnwa adaghị ejide okwu si datịnye afọ ụkọ ọnọdụ obodo ya dị a wee wepụnata aga n'ụmụ ife ụfọdụ na-eyi ego ya metafa mepụta ego chụpụkwa ọnọdụ ha na ya ọ bụrụ ka okenye si eme ise n'obodo ọ na-achị ọ bụrụ ezigbo onye ọchịchị chụpụkwa ọnọdụ ha na ya ọ bụrụ ka okenye si eme ise n'obodo ọ na-achị ọ bụrụ ezigbo onye ọchịchị dị ife anwa ịghọtago ụmụ nwee mmepụta na-arụ ndị ọ na-achị mana obodo Naijiria ndị na-achị Naijiria nwere mmetụta na-arụ ndị ha na-ịghọtago mana m na-asị Mahmood Yakubu ọ bụrụ anaghị na rizọtụ anyị ọ bụ eziokwu ekele dịrị Chineke nna ịlụgo ogo ihe ọbụla imeta iwere isi gị wee bụrụ n'obodo a ọ bụ na eziokwu ọkwasịrị ọ bụ na asị anwasịrị gị. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message coming from Sonny Omer from Nsukka, and he says, I wonder why we all are like this. We are in a country where even a senior advocate of Nigeria like Governor Akeredolu cannot just do the part of honor and transmit power to the deputy. He may not be in good with the deputy, but the law provides that it is high time we build our institutions in this country to be stronger than individuals and politicians. He's building castle in the air to believe things will get better if we don't be right in whatever we are doing. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hello. Hello. Yes, move away from your radio or put it off. Okay, let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this morning? Hello. Okay, welcome back. Gabaniru. Okay.
Ịma ha n'ọchịchị APC na the whole nation dịkwa ha mma na ahụkwarị kpatara dị ebe ọ na-akpọ na rizọt APC a na-enwe na-eje ịfụgo na ọ na-akọwa na udo dị Igbo foundation na dị very good and nice to those that benefit from it. Otherwise ọchịchị ndị APC edokọta Naijiria ahụ mana ndị na-enweta uru na ya dịra mma mana otu ọ dị ma ụzọ dị mma nwere aṅụrị ya garakwa ndị na-edekwara ya na-efe ọ bụ maka ihe mere Imo steeti ya mere Anambra steeti o mechago isi bịa onwe dị ihe ya emenụ maka ha ma na ya enwewu mere ọ na ụmụ ihe ihu akwụkwọ ka anyị na-ejekọrịba ọnụ akwụkwọ ụnụ agụrụ akwụkwọ sọ na Facebook ebe a ka anyị ejekọdebe ọnụ nwere ihe ọzọ anyị emenwu ndị na-achị anyị ọ dawazi mmadụ na-eru 1 million sidedi over 200 million fọdụ ichira na onye ọbụla na ị na-akọ ọnụ na ihu akwụkwọ onweghị ya anyị emenwu ebe ọnụ ka anyị na-agba ihe a gwa onye ọnụmasị o nwere nwanne anyị nwoke si na ọnụmasị anya ndị ha agbọcha akwụcha obi ebebi onye aka ọ dịbụ mụnwa mana tetanụ nye ote Chineke amara si abụkwu ọnụma gbasa Naijiria n'obi m so mgbe ụfọdụ na-aja afụ m ụfụ a enwe nwa redio presenta kwuru elu
Governor indefinitely na Oman Mezi expire na ọbụlgo legal tender ọ ga-adịgidezikwa yọta so onwezi ha na-eme again so no need igobekwazi maybe ndị na-ego na-amalọ
ihe ị na-ekwu aka ha chọjọ ya atọ maka ọ maka mụnwa ọ bụkwa ndị kwuru na ọsị na ịma ihe a na-eme were omere ihe a na-eme ha ejikwa m ihe nwa ha na-eme agbaghị m nọ ka
country setting. So now I'm wire as a maybe a minute to wake up there. Most of November year. That was the country go by December.
Thank you so much.
I'm not about to happy. I'm almost tired without for 1 year and maybe a better.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And then let's hear from you before we begin to call it a day on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona at 103.5 FM. Let's hear from you now. Hello.
Good morning to you, my very good friend, Nato.
Yes, good morning, my brother. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very great, and you?
We thank the Lord.
You know, all the way from London this morning.
Please go on.
One man will say, "Yeah, blame Okanawa, we're not come here, yeah, but yes, all the gas tender. Just like in Mama 3 days ago, later, by December. Landing who went to people and brainwashers will come and tell you about the Palaga tender. Now, taking no Magala, that way we're here because I'm going to do
okay.
That way we're here people, star people, easy, based on 9 way low mentality. I just put it. We have a legal tender, I have a problem. Mother, I said also, cause one problem and the mentality of the people. Knowing fully well the mentality is so low. You understand? They're catching on our low mentality to perpetuate all this nonsense on us. It is a legal tender. The CBN, the appropriate authority, has said it.
Yes.
And the Kedonia President Tinubu Gano, he heard that who will lose the election. He hope in the campaign, no, but all these things will go up.
Okay.
Because if we're going to die in Chad, I ain't Chad, I have December is here. I dare you to do it. I dare you to do it. I don't know who you're going to want to get and if we had a clear and actually up to see no daily day. That I confirm here. And copy the video to go. So what they for I know, yeah. And I got what I said in the anyone. I found a radio, governor, president, elected official. I will say, hey, oh, I got it. One young okay, I think I'm an opportunity away to name my very, very cute and handsome governor of Imo State on his re-election. This can only be so much. And here I come out to the end of a margin of lead. Hey, how do you when the mother talk with you on the in direct way, then I've been a protest where swear vote.
So, you believe you then will any discrepancies in the election at all?
If there is discrepancies, then the court should show it. They should show it in court.
Okay.
And also got many cases with discrepancies, and it is proven. And judgment is given to the person proven. Yeah.
Okay.
Let them go to court and show the discrepancies. Then I ain't happy and Anya. I'm assuming the Yamamaro. So no one's an illiterate, not non-conformer. Oh, yes, member. I can't catch member. As never discrepancy. A proper Anya, the Maraponia Balagoma, or Mother Barrier, the Bulgara. No, I can't go that level because we confront things before we say. I'm an American man, they come to that and play like romance. But can I say they behave like romance? But I'm because I'm not road. Because I think I can the governor. When can you become
my brother?
I don't know.
The election is a fire be him anymore. Plus, the president of NLC, or he in Abiana, because he has it anymore.
Because when you have women, you have when I walk in governor one, margin of lead, that man the mother John. Man, oh, one yes, yeah, many my number. One now, Anambra Kanjo. In 2010, 7 local governments were defranchised. Fictitious names in a register. 7 local governments of a particular candidate, stronghold. There were more voters, more majority of the votes in Anambra State. In a 7 local governments, yeah. They defranchised the other people. When you win. After I'm a party, I'm a bunker. On election day, they defranchise somebody. You can't know why you can't there. If I'm a vote, when you can't put it, you got a general election.
2010. 2010. 2010,
2010, yes.
Okay.
Were you in Anambra then? It was a hell, my very good friend.
Okay.
It was a hell. People
My brother, I check up was about a time I years ago.
So one I'm checking about it.
Yes.
Why you go why you play politics of interest? You protect your interest. Good enough, the couple. He takes a fear your mom. Only can I got your home with it. Oh, whether I didn't why you could I enjoy. But see, maybe why you I need to work on a time or I change you without it. I know got it go one.
Thank you.
Election is free. Mahmoud is the best. He's God. He's this. He's that. Because I don't know.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Dalo, thank you, my brother. Dalo. Yes, this is the spot where we'll begin to call it a day on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. Yes, I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to everyone who joined us this morning via calls, everyone who got to us through WhatsApp messages, like Sonny Omeyer from Osoka. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And this is the spot where we'll call it a day. But remember that Political Views comes your way, on Saturdays, 10 o'clock a.m., then Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. So keep a date and don't touch the dial of Ebona at the 103.5 FM. A lot is still coming your way on this platform. So stick around with us and have a wonderful weekend. I remain the one and only Martin Ifan Shuku Ekeze. Have a wonderful weekend.